Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. This is your road trip for Manchester United versus Arsenal. Manchester United head down to the Emirates. Arsenal unbeaten at the Emirates since May 2025. They have conceded 5 goals at the Emirates all season. So look, we're going up against a team that does not concede goals, that are super hard to get through. However, Manchester United need to go into this game confident. No matter where Manchester United are at, it's always a very good game against Arsenal. Opening game of the season at Old Trafford. I think Manchester United were super unlucky not to come away with at least a point, even 3 points from that game. But now, after going and playing in such an enthusiastic, energetic, confident way against Manchester City, United need to take confidence from that and go into that game and feel like they can go and win this game. Look, I've had a lot of discussions with people this week. Would you take a draw? How do you think the game's going to go? My honest opinion on how I think the game's going to go is call me, getting carried away from that derby result, which people keep saying, well, City went to Bodo midweek and they look really poor there, so maybe it's just City. Maybe it is. We'll have to wait and see. Carrick himself has said, let's not get carried away. However, I can't take away from that performance from Manchester United at Old Trafford against City. And whether they had a decimated defence or not, it was still a fantastic performance. It was still the right game plan. It was still a game where Manchester United had chance after chance after chance after chance. We've not seen that from a Manchester United side against a big side in a very long time. So we've got to take confidence from that. Bodo Glimt is actually a really tough place to go. When they go away, yeah, you expect to be beating Bodo Glimt, but Bodo Glimt's actual home ground, their stadium, is a tough place to go. City are a bit decimated. Pep seems a little bit all over the place at the minute. So yes, it is different playing Manchester City than playing Arsenal. I think Arsenal are a harder team to go and play against, especially in their ground where they've got such a good record at the moment. So we do have to take all of them factors into consideration. However, I am still thinking United are going to get the win. I don't know what it is. I feel like Michael Carrick has got something from Mikel Arteta, and people might be laughing about this after the game, but I'm backing my team. And I don't think it's going to be a thrashing by any sense of the imagination. I don't think it's going to be a thrashing from Arsenal against Man United. I don't think it's going to be a thrashing for Manchester United against Arsenal. I mean, I definitely don't think that. Their defence is absolutely phenomenal. And United could take a few lessons from Arsenal, as much as it pains us to say that. When you are hard to beat, when you are hard to score against, you always put yourself in a good position. When teams struggle to score against you, there's always a point there. There's always something you can get out of that game. There's always a chance. And Sir Alex Ferguson said it himself. Games are won by goals, but titles are won by strong defences. And should Arsenal have better output when it comes from an attacking sense? Yes, I do think Arsenal should score more goals. Should their attackers do better in certain situations? Yes. Would you like to see them maybe dominate games a bit more in terms by scoring a lot of goals against teams and their attack just having more urgency, having more output, having more firepower? Yes. However, their defence is phenomenal. They are so hard to beat. They've got 2 of the best centre-backs in the league. I actually think currently Gabriel is the best centre-back in the league. So it's going to be a tough game, and this is how I see it going. So I see United scoring first. This is just my vision, everyone, so get on board with the vision. I see United scoring first. I then see Arsenal scoring off some sort of set piece, like a Gabriel off a corner or a free kick or something like that. And then I think there will be a winner in the final dying minutes of the game, whether that is from Manchester United or whether that is from Arsenal. We'll have to wait. Yeah, let's go United. Yeah, let's go. They're looking for United to win. Let's go. But it'll either be from United or Arsenal. And if Arsenal score it, they're going to celebrate as if they've won the league. I can already see it. And if United score it, wow, what huge boost, what huge momentum for Michael Carrick in this United side. Imagine within the space of just over a week beating Man City at home, a title contender, and then beating the title contender at their home ground when they've not lost a game at the Emirates since May. Like, that would be absolutely huge for our confidence boost of going and getting Champions League football. It's a tough ask. I'm going to be so honest, as much as Man City are a very, very good side and they absolutely are in the title race, I do think Arsenal are going to win the league, and I actually think Arsenal are a tougher team to play right now. I think Arsenal are a tougher team to play than Man City. This is going to be a tougher game, and it is also in Man City. It's also in Arsenal Stadium as well. So it is at the Emirates. if you go and play at the Etihad, it would be slightly different than playing at Old Trafford when the atmosphere is absolutely roaring. So I don't want to put a negative spin on it, but if you ask me right now, on paper, what is the tougher game, I would say it is Arsenal away. So I can understand some United fans that are saying, wow, if we could get a draw there, imagine coming out of the Man City and the Arsenal game with 4 points. Before that, you would have been buzzing about it. And I get that, but I do think Manchester United should go into every single game wanting to go there and win it, and I'm backing United for a 2-1. I'm going early. My score prediction is 2-1 United. I might have egg on my face, I might look silly, but Man United have shown me enough in that performance against Man City to say we will have opportunities. I think we can show a bit to Arteta and Arsenal. However, I think Arteta will set up slightly different. Pep Guardiola will play his way, and he will go and play that way, and he'll leave himself exposed even if he has got a makeshift defence, and that's what he did at Old Trafford. Whereas I think Arteta will know this is a huge swinging doors moment in the title race. I think he'll go into the game with, let's make sure we don't concede. And I know that he gets that nickname, Tony Pulis in disguise. He has that. And look, the top of the league and the favourites to win the league. Let's see if it happens. So the way that they're going right now within Europe, within the league, the top of the league, the top of the Champions League, they're in all the trophies. Like, they're in a very good position, so you can't really mock it. But I do think he'll go into that game conservative. I think they'll be hard to beat. I don't know if there'll be massive attacking threat from them initially. I think that will build throughout the game. One thing I would say is I would prefer to see Victor Gyökeres starting up front than Gabby Jesus. I think Gabby Jesus will be much harder for the likes of Maguire and Martinez to handle than the likes of a Gyökeres. I think Maguire and Martinez both know how to handle a Gyökeres type striker. I'd back him against Jesus, but he's very different. He's in the way he moves, and I think he's harder to handle for centre-backs that, I think Martinez and Maguire like the battle, that physical battle against a player. Gabby Jesus is going to be weaving in and out the lines, and you're going to need a lot of mobility for that, which is where we can get caught out sometimes. So I think Arteta will go with Gyökeres, though, which could give us a helping hand. Watch him score against us now. It's kind of written in the stars after I've said that. But like I said, I think it's going to be an edgy game. I think Arteta will go into it a lot more conservative than what Pep Guardiola did, and I think that will give us less chance to score. I expect us to have less chances against Arsenal, but we will get chances. And how do we convert them chances? How do we make the best out of this game? How do we come away with 3 points? Well, I'm going to do my starting 11 in a second of what I think Carrick will go for, and probably what you should go for going into this game as well. But what I can say before I give that starting 11, Michael Carrick, right, he's beat Arteta before, very different Arsenal side and a very different Man United side. It was years ago. But he's got Mikel Arteta in his back pocket. He's got Pep in his back pocket. Tuchel, it was a draw at Stamford Bridge. Unai Emery's Villarreal away from home. He's got him in his back pocket. So, he likes a big game, Michael Carrick. He does like a big game. Anyway, my starting 11 would be Lemens in goal, obviously. That's not going to change. Lemens in goal, he is going to be starting, and unless there's some sort of injury or knock, he'll be starting in goal. I'll come to right back last, actually. Left back, it's going to be Luke Shaw. I think Luke Shaw has the experience for this kind of game. Does he sometimes back off Saka too much in previous games? Yes. However, I think he's the most experienced player to handle that type of player coming at him, and I think he knows Saka very, very well, and I think you've got to have experience in this sort of game. So I'm going with Luke Shaw at left back. My 2 centre-backs are going to be Lisandro Martinez and Harry Maguire. De Ligt is still out, and even if he wasn't, Maguire and Martinez had an absolutely excellent game together in the Manchester derby. They're going to start together, providing they're both fit. Right back, does Mazraoui come back into the team, or do you go with Dalot? Now, I would go with either of them. And if it was based off Dalot's whole season, you would say Mazraoui, is better served at right back. However, Dalot, even though he's been poor for quite a few games on the run, against Man City, I thought, yeah, that early yellow card could have been a red. Never a red, could have been a red. He handled the rest of that game super well. Like, there wasn't any change got out of him. We didn't concede. He managed that yellow card. When you get a yellow card like that, the ref is looking to send you off, and he managed it superbly. So I think Carrick will go with Dalot. However, I wouldn't mind it being Mazraoui. It's a toss-up when it comes to them two players. Let's see, I think he'll go with Dalot, though. My midfield is going to be Casemiro and Mainu, with Bruno just ahead of them. My right winger is going to be Ahmad, still massively underrated in the Premier League and an absolutely sensational player. I loved watching him play in that Manchester derby. When I was watching the game back, I thought, wow, Ahmad is just ridiculous. And we've known this for a while, but I think in that right wing spot, he's just going to excel and excel and excel. So Ahmad on the right, I'm going Dorgu on the left. I think as much as it's funny because when you're picking Man United's front three at the start of the season, nobody is saying Patrick Dorgu. Like, nobody's saying Patrick Dorgu. Everyone's saying who's going to start when it's Amad, Mbeumo, Cunha and Sesko. You know, one's going to have to drop out. Who's it going to be? Now it's going to be probably Cunha and Sesko on the bench, because I think that front three of Dorgu and Mbeumo up front, kind of running the lines and being that sort of Achilles heel for the centre-backs of, you know, not knowing where he's going, not knowing whether to track him or go with him. And I think City's defenders were very, very much struggling with that Mbeumo role in the game. And I think for centre-backs like Saliba and Gabriel, I think they'll just kind of, as much as I think Sesko can serve a purpose and I hope he comes on and has an impact, I think they'll know how to deal with a Sesko-type striker. Don't get me wrong, they could deal with Mbeumo as well. They're two extremely good centre-backs, but I think Sesko is like another day at the office for them, whereas Mbeumo could confuse them slightly, and I think that Carrick's going to go with that. I think Cunha will be on the bench. I think Sesko will be on the bench. I hope they both come on and make a big impact. Sesko scoring against Arsenal would be my dream, especially after the whole Gyökeres versus Sesko conversation in the summer. But I think it is going to be a front three of Amad, Mbeumo and Dorgu. It's great for the counter-attack, which is, I think, the game plan we're going to go with. And, you know, Dorgu provides that energy, that width, that dynamism. And Mbeumo is an absolute baller in terms of he knows how to hit the back of the net. He's intelligent. He can go down the middle and make things difficult for the centre-backs. And Amad is going to carry the ball super well. He's intelligent. I think coming in from that wide space is super dangerous. So that's what I think he's going to go with, is his front three, and I think that's going to be the team. And hopefully, you know, we're turning into more of a squad where players can have an impact off the bench. Like, you've got Mount off the bench, you've got Cunha off the bench, you've got Sesko coming off the bench. So yeah, let's see what happens. Like I said, I'm going with a 2-1 win to Manchester United. Call me crazy, but I'm backing my team. Let me know in the comments what you're going with. I would love to see, you know, Arteta's face at the end of it, just confused about what Michael Carrick has just done to him. So let's see what happens. Smash a like on the video, get your predictions in down below in the comments, and come on United.